All right, so the first thing I remember in my dream was riding on a bus. Um, I was with a few people, and I was in one of the seats closest to the front. We were on a highway. It was a relatively like taller bus. It was white. Um, let's see. I don't remember too much about the scenery, except we were going to. I remember transferring. I switched to another bus, and I was supposed to get off in my hometown, and I didn't for some reason. Like I got on the bus, I got on the new bus, and I was supposed to be like just real like hopping on and then hopping off real quick. I switched buses at a closed hotel. Like the hotel was shut down. It was like a circular hotel. It reminded me of Valley Forge Casino, which is a hotel that's near here. I switched buses there, and I was on the bus for it only seemed like a moment. And though it only seemed like a moment, I ended up in the city. Um, and so I was in the city now all of a sudden, like just I'm just like, oh shit, I got on the wrong bus. And I pulled there's this little when you're on a bus now, those that don't ride public transportation don't know this, but when you're on a bus, there's a little yellow string or there's like a yellow cord that you can pull. And you pull that yellow cord and the bus will stop at the next stop, because if you don't pull it, the bus will just keep going. If there's no one that wants to get off, it'll just keep going. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get off. So I'm like, and it drops me off like next to a university. It's a very like nice university. I forget the name of the university, but I uh I get to the universe. I'm like at this place and I go in and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I I consider like applying to the university. I remember that, and I decided against it, and I ran into um an old high school buddy who was like a student there, and they like cracked a joke about me dropping out of college, and I was just like, oh yeah, cool. And I just threw up a peace sign and kept walking, and then they like laughed and were like respect. And I was like, yeah, whatever, whatever. You're cool. Oh, don't forget to hydrate, by the way. And then I got to this apartment that my mom was at, and it was near Christmas, so there's some Christmas decorations going up. And my mom decided to give me my Christmas present early, and it was a bag of water. So she gave me a Ziploc bag of water, and she's like, so this is your microbiome right here. Inside is little bacterias and krill for a fish tank. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then she gave me a bag full of fish. And I got a larger Ziploc bag because there was no tanks. She didn't actually get me a tank, so I combined the two in a large tank or in a large Ziploc bag. So now I got a big Ziploc bag full of fish and little krill and stuff, and I just watched them like it looked like a scene out of Spore. Like some of the fish were eating each other, like like the fish were eating each other and getting larger. Like one just comes, it just goes nom, whoop, and it gets bigger. I thought that was interesting. I was like, no, stop eating each other. Oh, it's kind of cool actually. Um, and so that was interesting. And then I went to another place, and you know who I find? I end up at Jester Jones' new apartment. Jester Jones. I'm like, what? This is awesome. And I forget who I was there with. I was there with one other person, and his girlfriend. Jester Jones had a girlfriend, tiny little girl. She was like a small redhead with a quaint little voice, so sweet. Um, very short, and Jester was Jester. So we're and those who don't know Jester, Jester's big dude, beard, kind of looked in my dream. He resembled Hagrid. Like, yeah. Um, and he resembled a mix of Hagrid and Gandalf. Actually, he had like a wizard vibe. He definitely had a wizard vibe. Um, and he like He had a very nice apartment. It had multiple rooms in it. And there was one other person I was there with. I don't remember like what their purpose was though. Um, he offered to teach me how to organize things because his room was hella organized. And he showed me his room and stuff like that. And then his girlfriend was like, "Do you want to see my room? Have you seen my room?" And I was like, "Sure." And she like walked me over. And by the way, she's very like a free spirit. She's like getting real close to me and like smiling. She's very sweet, almost coming on to me, but like not quite. And I wasn't making any moves. It's Jester. I'm respecting the hell out of him. Um, she, she walks me over to the bathroom, and there's two. I remember it's like a so the apartment, by the way, it's an older place. It's got it feels like it's something out of like the 60s and maybe earlier even, but like it's a lot of wood and it's a lot of browns. So she shows me there's two showers right next to each other. Showers with they're like the bath ones, so like shower goes into like you can turn it into an actual bath. And they're sitting right next to each other, like boom, boom. And she points to the right one. She's like, "Here it is. Here's my bathroom, or here's my room, I should say." And I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty small room." And there's a little hatch next to the shower, and I pull open the hatch, and there's inside the hatch there's this little closet space that's bigger than the bathroom. So I make a joke. I'm like, "Yo, this closet here is bigger than your room." And inside is all these welcome mats, like large red welcome mats. Um, I was like, "That's interesting." And I walk back and I'm like, "Jester, what's up with those welcome mats?" He's like, "Oh yeah, those are the hotels." Because we're in another hotel, by the way, like, but or it's I guess it's an apartment building, but he's like, "Oh yeah, those are the hotels. Don't worry about that. We're gonna use one." And he's like, "Oh, I know how to make them fly. By the way, we can totally live on one of those." He's talking about getting a big magic carpet, and we all just like fly around on it, fly around the world. I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." And then I walk back behind those, like, so I walk past the bathroom. There's a hallway that goes around in like a like kind of like a J shape. So it goes. It's a J shape. So I'm walking. I go, and at the end of the J, there's another room that's just unoccupied. It's got a bed in there, but there's like it's open. And I'm like, "Shit, Jester, can I move in?" And Jester's like, "Yeah, sure." And then I woke up. So Jester, you trying to live together, bro?